Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to part 3 of my Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament preview review. Today we're going over the next 4 characters that were revealed, and we are beginning with Kuro Momotaro from Team Uraotogi. Uraotogi? I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Again, forgive me, it's been forever since I've seen the Dark Tournament. I'm planning on rewatching it with my wife here shortly to get hype for this amazing set. But I guess also, before we get too far into it, I've been told that I should post this at the beginning of the videos to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this content. It really does mean a lot to me when I see that I'm getting more views and some more support from the community. It really brightens my day, so I'd appreciate it if you enjoy this content to do all the YouTube things of like, comment, and subscribe. But now that the shilling's out of the way, let's move on to Kuro Momotaro, a 6 hand size, 27 health, air, chaos, and earth character. He has a static that says, before the game begins, search your deck for a card with the word armor in its name, and add it to your momentum face up. So he's kind of like a mix between Amajiki and the old school retro character Dejanette, but she could only add a specific action card to her momentum before the game begins. So this is kind of neat. You get to choose any card with the word armor in the name, so you can set up depending on what your playstyle is going to be that game. Then he has an enhance once per turn. If your rival has played 2 or more copies of this attack, it gets -5 damage. Alright, considering every character and their mom seems to have an Echo card in this set, this is a pretty good defensive ability. It helps if your opponent's recycling their attacks, or if they focus on playing multiple copies of the same attacks, or, again, Echo cards. This can give any Echo attack -5 damage the second time it's played. And then Enhance, if you have a copy of this attack in your momentum, face up, this attack gets +1 speed and +2 damage. So whatever attacks you have face up in your momentum can then gain 1 speed and 2 damage for the attacks that you play. That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. Obviously, if you're starting with 1 in your momentum, it's less likely you will see that one, but I'm sure that all of his attacks and armor cards will have momentum abilities, so without further ado, let's get into Armor of the Ape, his uncommon attack, a 5 difficulty, 3 control with a +2 mid block, 4 mid for 5. It is a slam. It's good to see the slam keyword getting more support, especially on the chaos symbol for characters like Selkie and Gentle Criminal. It's got a static. When this card is added to your momentum, add it face up. Alright. It does have a momentum enhance. Enhance momentum, your rival's attack gets -1 damage. That's pretty good. That's consistent damage reduction on every opponent's attack. That's pretty solid. And then it has Enhance. This attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage for each of your momentum. This is very similar to the time-shifted card from Hiei's old kit, 16 instant slashes, where as a first Enhance, it gets 1 speed and 1 damage for each of your momentum. And I will be doing a separate video on the time-shifted rares and the retro reprints. Once all of those are revealed, I'll probably do those after I do the last set of character preview reviews, and I may roll the back page cards into that, or I may roll those into the final character sets. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm kind of winging this. Moving on, we have Armor of the Phoenix, his rare attack, a 4 difficulty, 3 control, 4 high for 4 with a +2 low block, also a slam. It also goes to your momentum face up. It says Enhance Momentum, this attack gets +1 speed. Okay, so Phoenix gives your attacks 1 speed, Ape gives your opponent's attacks 1 damage, or -1 damage, and then Enhance, this attack gets +2 speed, only playable if you have at least 1 momentum. Chances are, if you're this guy and you don't have momentum, the game's already gone horribly wrong for you. But to make this a 6 high 4, just for having a momentum isn't bad on a 4 diff, and then it gives your attacks +1 speed as long as this card is in your momentum. And I think it goes without saying, if you have multiple copies of these cards in your momentum, you can use the Enhance on each of them, every Enhance step. Pretty solid. His Ultra is Armor of the Wolf, a 5 difficulty, 3 control, 5 mid for 5 with a +2 high block, with Slam EX3 and Powerful 3. those are some pretty good numbers there. It goes to your momentum face up. As an enhance in your momentum, this attack gets +1 damage, so pretty good. And then response, after your rival passes on an enhance, this attack gets +1 damage. So with all of these buttons to push in your momentum, and again, he shares 2 symbols with Tamaki Yamajiki from the Big 3, who deals with a lot of face-up momentum stuff. So the more buttons you have to push, the stronger this card gets, because your opponent's eventually going to run out of things to do. And this, you could push all of your buttons, make this card insanely big, and then just dump all of your momentum for EX3 and just really rip your opponent a new one with this Werewolf Armor card. And then we have his common attack, Diving Phoenix Crush. It is a 4 difficulty, 3 control, 4 high for 3, with a +1 mid-block, with Punch and Slam. Punch is a keyword we're not seeing a lot of in this set. It says, enhance, if this attack deals damage, add 1 attack from your discard pile to your momentum face up. That's pretty good, because as long as it deals damage, you can take any of these extra armor cards that are in your discard pile and shove them into your momentum. And then you have even more buttons to push on your next attack. Pretty good. Pretty good for a little common. It's not quite as generic, I would say, as the other commons we've seen, but I guess if it deals damage, netting an extra momentum is pretty generic. It's just the fact that it goes face up kind of mitigates some of its generic nature. Moving on to his foundations, we have Body Memorization, a 2 difficulty, 4 control with a +4 mid-block. It says, enhance remove, if 2 or more copies of this attack have been played this turn, reduce this attack's damage to 0. That's pretty solid. It kind of fits his motif of never getting hit by the same move twice, which I believe was a thing in his fight with Hiei, I believe it was. And his ability to adapt. Again, this hampers all of the Echo cards that we're seeing in this set, which I was loving that we were getting more Echo until I saw pretty much everyone was getting an Echo, and then I was like, well, this could prove dangerous. This is a really good anti-Echo card. If your opponent has ways to recur their attacks from their card pool to play them again, this can really help out negating that. It's really, really solid, and if they ever print cards like an old school card called Fade, which when your opponent played an attack allowed you to add it back to their hand and basically force them to do it again, this would be even more dangerous, but hopefully they don't reprint Fade. Even though I'd love for them to reprint Fade, I loved that card. Next up, we have Cruel Intent, a common foundation, a 1 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 low block. It says, flip, your slam attack gets +2 speed. If it deals damage, your rival flips a foundation. Good slam support. Obviously, giving things 2 speed is going to make it harder to block, and this makes sure that your rival wants to block it unless they want to just flip foundations. Then we've got another common, Fearsome Transformations, a 1 difficulty, 5 control, +3 high block. With Enhance, flip, draw 1 card. If you have no momentum, discard a card. So if you're doing his things, you're always going to just draw, and if you have any momentum in any character, you're just going to draw. Pretty solid card, pretty good spam card. I'm glad that we're seeing some basic draw, considering we're losing a lot of it in set 1. I really like that. And then his rare foundation, Steaming Sphere's Power. A 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 mid-block. It has Enhance, Destroy, add 1 slam attack from your discard pile to your momentum. Pretty good, you destroy it for a momentum, and since the discard pile is a public play zone, any card that says if it goes to your momentum it goes face up would go into your momentum face up, so this gives him a whole bunch more buttons to push. And then response, flip, if your rival plays an ability that discards 1 or more of your momentum, cancel its effects. So this is a good way to protect your momentum. So it's kind of like Cool and Tough on 2 of these symbols, but I think Cool and Tough would be better to keep as your protection rather than just using this, because you can also use it for the way to generate momentum. So all in all, I think Kuro Momotaro's got some pretty fun lines. I mean, especially sharing two symbols with characters like Tamaki Amajiki, who wants to do face-up momentum things. Luckily, Ochako 1 is rotating, or else he shares two symbols with her and could do her face-up momentum things. Yeah, I really like this idea of using your momentum as like a secondary kit of things you get to do, not just as the bullets in the gun to fire off your effects. So I think he's definitely going to see some play. And considering he starts the game with 1 momentum for free, heaven forbid they print any other armor cards that do things in momentum with him still being around, definitely could become scary. Excuse me, sorry about that. Moving on, we have everyone's favorite pompadour-wearing high schooler, Kuwabara, Spirited Warrior. So again, this is the second Kuwabara, so he gets a new title, Spirited Warrior. He is from Team Urameshi. He's a 5-hand size, 33 health character. I believe he was also a 5-hand size, 33 health character in his first iteration. Now let's see what they did with the Spirit Swordsman. He has a response. After your non-throw attack deals damage, build 1 foundation from your discard pile that shares 2 or more symbols with this character. Alright, that's pretty good. You can't just spam throws to continuously build, like Recovery Girl. Although she builds when she takes damage, but that's neither here nor there. Then it has Enhance. Commit 1 foundation. This attack gets -1 damage. This Enhance is playable any number of times this Enhance step. So you can turn as many cards as you want sideways to get as much damage reduction as you want, no matter what. And you people thought the first Kuwabara was annoying. The original Kuwabara, I believe, before they banned him, could commit a foundation during the block step to return an attack to its printed damage. So you could just choose not to block, commit a foundation, take printed damage. And then he also has another enhance. Excuse me, getting ahead of myself. If you have 15 or less health, your attack gets +3 damage, for free. So you can use his enhance of committing foundations to give damage reduction, to whittle yourself down to this 15 or less threshold, and then all of your attacks get +3 damage for free. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty fun, and he's also got the Earth, Fire, and Good symbols. So I think he's going to be one dangerous damage reduction control-y type character. So let's see what kind of tools he gets. We have his uncommon Bending Blade, a 5 difficulty, 3 control, 5 mid 6 with a 2 mid block. It's got the weapon keyword, although the way it's stretching, I wonder why it's not weapon and ranged. It has 2 enhances. The first is, if you have not dealt damage this turn, change the zone of this attack. So if you played, say, a high attack and it was fully blocked, you can change this to a high, hopefully cut your opponent's chances of blocking the same zone twice. And then another enhance, this attack cannot be partially blocked. So your opponent has to have the same block zone to block this attack no matter what zone you make it, or they take the full damage, which if you're at 15 or less health, that's at least 9 damage. All in all, not bad, especially for an uncommon attack. I really like that. I think this one's going to see a bit of play. Next we have his rare Desperate Slash. A 4 difficulty, 3 control, 3 high for 3 with a +1 high block. It's got Fury and Weapon. It's got a static that says if you have 10 or less health, this attack gets -1 difficulty and +1 damage. So if you're at 10 or less health, this is a 3 difficulty, 3 high for 4. Not bad, I guess. And then Enhance Mill 3. This attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage for each foundation milled this way. So if you're not at 10 or less health, this is a potential 6 high 6 on a 4 diff. If you are at 10 or less health, this is a 6 high 7 on a 3 diff. That's pretty good, and if you're at 10 or less health, you're obviously going to give it 3 damage for free, so a potential 6 high for 10 on a 3 difficulty if you're at 10 or less health. That's pretty solid. That's pretty good. Definitely want to watch out for letting Kuwabara get too low. He's definitely one of those try to nuke from maybe at least 20, if you can. Next up is his Ultra Dimension Sword. A 4 difficulty, 3 control, 3 mid for 4 with a +2 low block. It's got Breaker 1, nice, ranged, and weapon. Why this one's ranged, I will not know. It says enhance mill 3, add 1 weapon attack milled this way to your hand. Alright, so if you mill a weapon attack, you can add it to your hand. And then enhance, choose 1 foundation in your stage. This attack is +1 speed for each symbol that foundation shares with your character. So if you choose one of his own, gets +3 speed, becomes a 6 mid 4. 6 mid 4 that could potentially net you another attack if you get lucky with a mill 3. I'm gonna be honest, guys, I feel like this Ultra is kind of lackluster. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing. Maybe the Breaker 2 on a 2 low block really pushes it over the edge, but I think the Rare might have more capabilities than this. Yeah, but that's just me, maybe. I think this is the first Ultra where I kind of feel a little bit let down, especially considering what this character could be capable of. But then again, maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little short-sighted because I never liked Kuwabara as a character. I mean, he's fine, but of Team Urameshi, he's definitely number 5 out of 5 for me. And then we have his common Spirit Sword Swipe. This is a 4 difficulty, 3 control, 3 low for 4 with a +1 mid block. And it's got Stun 1 and Weapon. And that's it. This is his generic common attack. Stun 1's nice. 3 low for 4 is fine. Not much to say here. Next up, we have his foundation, starting with Double Sword Style. A 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 mid block. It's got Response once per turn Tenacious, so playable while committed. After this, foundation is committed due to a cost. This attack gets +1 or -1 damage. That's pretty good. And this doesn't say unique, so you can have 4 of these in your stage to commit 4 of them for a total of -8 damage to any of your opponent's attacks. That's pretty solid, especially if you have a way to ready this card back up. And then another response, flip after you play your second attack this turn, draw 1 card. Okay, that's not bad. That kind of helps go towards solving your 5 hand size problems. You don't really have to worry about building with him, because as long as you're touching your opponent, you can build. And he does share 2 symbols with Muscular, by the way. So Muscular's common attack that says it always deals 1 damage will always build you a double sword style if you have one in your discard pile. And I think that's pretty scary, especially on a 3 low 3 that also can, I think it also has Breaker. And I know when you block with it, you draw a card, so that also helps your 5 hand size problems. Moving on, we have Kind-Hearted, a common foundation, 1 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 mid block. It says, after you build this card, reveal the top card of your deck. You may discard 1 card, and if you do, draw 1 card. So if you build this in after dealing damage, and you reveal the top card of your deck to be an attack, you can discard another foundation you want to build, and then draw that attack off the top of your deck. Again, kind of cheating your 5 hand size problems, and if you're never worried about discarding foundations because he can just build them in later. So, nice. Pretty good for a common. Next up we have The Power of Love. Aw. Kuwabara and Yukina. Pretty sure her name's Yukina. This is a 3 difficulty, 5 control, +2 high block ally foundation, his rare. It has Response Tenacious, Destroy. After your rival plays a non-character ability that cancels your enhance or responsibility, cancel its effects. It's pretty good. It cancels your opponent's cancel. So if you do something and they try to stop you, you say, you don't get to stop me, because I have love on my side. Screw God and anime, I have love. And then enhance, commit, seal 1 rival, death, evil, or void foundation. So this is kind of a irrefutable force of nature, but for a different symbol spread. Considering we're losing irrefutable force of nature, maybe that's okay. And it is on a 3 diff with a +2 high block as opposed to a 2 diff with a +2 low block. But who knows, considering how dangerous some of these symbols are getting with this set, maybe this is a good add-in. And it's got the ally keyword. So if you're on the good symbol with Command Pigeon Flock. You can build this in. Then we have Thinking on the Fly, his other common foundation, a 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 low block. It says response, flip. After your attack is blocked, your next attack gets +3 speed. Certainly goes to helping you touch your opponent and build things in. So that's it for Kuwabara. I think this dude is gonna be a pain. If you like wall decks that don't give a damn about going into deadlock, and you just want it, well, even if you want to destroy things out of deadlock, if you have, like, say, flip cost foundations, destroy them, touch your opponent, build them back in. You don't need to worry about unflipping if you're just constantly rebuilding them. But, yeah, this is going to be silly. I have a feeling Mr. Kuwabara here is going to make some people's lives a living Hades, especially if they're in the top cuts of a tournament and don't have to abide by time constraints. Just sitting across from a Kuwabara that puts up a wall and says, I'll deal with you when I get to you, this is not going to be fun. Next up, we have Rinku. Rinku is a 7-hand size, 20 health character from Team Rokuyukai with Air, Chaos, and Order. So he's like a small little Denki. He's got an Enhance. Your attack gets +X speed. X equals the number of times you've played this Enhance this combat phase. Alright, so you've got some scaling speed there. Play it on your first attack, it gets 1 speed. On your second attack, it gets 2 speed. So he really wants you to string out and eventually just make your attacks virtually unblockable. And then he has a response at the start of your end phase. If your rival has committed a card in their stage this turn due to your effect, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. So, stun now nets you a momentum in this guy. Don't quite know how to feel about that, considering I know that Team Rokuyukai from Chu wants to commit all of your foundations. So, I can only imagine this is going to be mildly terrifying for this little yo-yo kid. And we'll start his attacks with Acrobatic Leap Kick, a 4 difficulty, 3 control, 3 high for 4 with a +2 high block. It says Enhance. If this attack deals damage, commit 1 rival foundation. Oh, and it has Kick and Stun 1. So no matter what, unless your opponent cancels this stun ability, you're getting a momentum. And if it deals damage, you're getting another momentum, and you're committing a rival foundation. You get to choose, by the way. Your opponent doesn't. You choose the rival foundation. So your opponent's always going to want to commit this, or to commit to blocking this. Not bad for an uncommon. Next up is his rare Around the World. A 5 difficulty, 2 control, 4 mid for 6 with a +2 mid block. It's got ranged, stun 1, and throw. Alright. It says Enhance, discard 1 momentum, add 1 copy of Around the World or Walk the Dog from your discard pile to your hand. So you pitch a momentum that you're obviously generating throughout Rinku being Rinku, and you're just picking up more copies of this card, which can pick up another copy of this card if you have the momentum, or Walk the Dog, which we'll see here in a minute, and your opponent's just going to have to deal with a bunch of 4 mid-6s, or worse, with stun 1. So you're stunning your opponent with each of these, and each of them is getting faster because of Rinku. It also has a Team Rokuyukai Enhance. Your rival discards 1 momentum. Alright, sure, a little bit of momentum hate. Considering we've got a lot of characters that deal with momentum. We just saw Kuro. We've got Rinku, and spoiler alert, the next character deals with momentum too. So having a little momentum hate's never a bad thing. Next up, we have his common Splatter Drop. A 3 difficulty, 3 control, 1 high 4 with a +1 mid block. It's a slam, and it says Enhance. If you have 3 or more attacks in your card pool, your rival commits a foundation. So it's stun hate. It's stun that avoids stun hate. Not bad on a little 3 diff, and obviously as a 3 diff, it's easy to have this as at least your 3rd attack in your card pool. And if this is your 3rd attack in your card pool, it's getting +3 speed thanks to Rinku, so this is a 4 high 4 on a 3 diff that commits a foundation. Then we have his Ultra Walk the Dog, a very rare 8 difficulty attack, 3 control, 6 low 6 with a +2 low block. It has powerful 3, ranged, stun 1, and weapon. Woof. Heh, I see what I did there. This has a static that says this attack gets -1 difficulty for each committed foundation in your rival's stage to a maximum of 4. So if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, this is a 4 difficulty 6 low for 6 with powerful 3 and stun 1. And it also has an enhance, draw 1 card for each copy of Walk the Dog in your card pool. So you play this, you draw a card, you stun 1, you maybe play an Around the World, pick up another Walk the Dog, play the other Walk the Dog, draw 2, stun 1, and just, yeah. Eventually, considering Rinku can continuously put speed on all of his attacks, you're not blocking a lot of Walk the Dogs and Around the Worlds if that's what this kid's up to. And that's scary. This 8 up here in the difficulty corner is a lie. This is a 4 diff. Especially if Rinku's already doing Rinku things. And moving on to his foundations, we have the first common, Acrobatic Style, a 1 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 low block. It's got Response, Tenacious, Flip. After a rival foundation is committed due to your effect, ready this card. Yay, I commit this to pass a check. I use Stun, I ready this card. That's fun, that's fine. Next up we have his uncommon Childlike Appearance, a 2 difficulty, 4 control with a +2 high block. With Enhanced Destroy, discard 1 momentum, reduce this attack's speed to 0. If it is blocked, commit 1 rival foundation. So sure, you lose a foundation because of this, and a momentum, but you have momentum to spare because you're Yo-Yo Ma over here. But you reduce the attack speed to 0, so this is another barrier shield on different symbols. And if it's blocked, you get to commit a rival foundation. So instead of getting the Breaker 2 on your block, you target commit a foundation. Pretty good. Next up is his rare, the Power of Serpent Yo-Yos. A 3 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 mid block, the weapon keyword on a foundation. It has 2 enhances, the first of which is your attack gets 1 speed. Only playable if it shares at least 2 symbols with your character. Sure. Make sure everything shares 2 symbols with your character, and this non-unique foundation will give you +1 speed for every copy of it in your stage on every attack. As if this little brat wasn't going to be unblockable enough. And then Enhance, Flip. If your rival has no ready foundations, your next check to play a card gets +1. Sure, okay. That's, good foundation. Good foundation. I like that it's a 3 diff. It makes it actually feel like it costs something. Then we have Quick Recovery, a 1 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 mid block. It says Enhance, Flip, discard 1 momentum, gain 3 health. Perfectly serviceable. I like that. It gives you another use for momentum. You can heal. As you saw earlier, we are a squishy little 7-hander with 20 health. But yeah, this brat is going to run rampant on people, and if you do not catch him early, he's just going to walk the dog all over your face. And I don't regret saying that. And to our last character of the night, we have probably the most fun to say, Shishi Wakamaru. This is another character from Team Ureotogi. Again, I don't remember how to say that. He is a 7 hand size, 21 health, with Air, Chaos, and Water. With Form, Commit, remove 1 momentum from the game, so you don't discard it, you remove it forever. The next card you try to play this turn passes. No check necessary. And Enhance, once per turn, add 1 card from your hand to your momentum. He says I just get to do free shit. I share 2 symbols with Rinku, so I can play Walk the Dog on an 8 as my first attack and not have to commit anything, because it's free. Ugh. That's, this guy's gonna be rude. I can already tell. So let's see what the Banshee Sword Wielder can do. First attack is Banshee Shriek Slash, the common attack. A 4 difficulty, 3 control, 4 high for 4 with a +1 mid block. It's got Fury, Weapon, and Powerful 3. Simple. I love it. Next up, we have the Ultra attack, Cage of Hell. A 3 difficulty, 3 control, 0 low for 2 with a +1 low block. It's got Breaker 1, Stun 1, and Weapon. It has 2 enhances, the first of which is your next weapon attack this turn gets +3 speed and +2 damage. So if you like Toga 3's enhance of the first attack you play gets 3 speed, 2 damage, you can give that to Cage of Hell to make it a 3 low for 4, and then your next card gets 3 speed and 2 damage. And then enhance, add this card to your momentum during the end phase. Alright. Kind of feeling a little lackluster on this one too. I mean, giving those stats to your next card, especially if it's going to ignore having to make a check, really strong. Don't get me wrong. But this just feels a little lacking. And again, I could be totally out of line here. We will see. Next we have the uncommon attack, Call of the Reaper. A 5 difficulty, 3 control, 3 mid for 5 with a +2 high block, with ranged weapon and combo for a weapon. And it says, combo enhance, ready all cards committed to pass the check to play this attack that have not been readied this combat phase. So if you have to commit to play it because you checked bad, it doesn't matter. You don't need to worry about checking bad on this attack. Pretty solid, I like it, especially for an uncommon with a combo. Then we have the rare attack, Chorus of 1,000 Skulls. A 7 difficulty, 2 control, 4 low for 8 with a +1 mid block. All of those numbers are scary. With Echo and Weapon, another Echo attack. Hey, Rinku didn't have an Echo attack, that's pretty fun. But Chorus of 1,000 Skulls, Echo Weapon. It says enhance, you may remove a weapon attack from your card pool to pay the cost of this card's Echo cost. Okay, cool. So you're playing this on an 8, or you're playing it for free because you're Shishi Wakamaru. Maybe that took your only momentum, so you can just use the last attack that you played with your momentum, or instead of momentum to play the Echo. And then Shishi Wakamaru Response. After you make the check to play this card, if you have tried to play 2 or more copies of this card this turn, your check gets +2. So you play an attack. Say, the Ultra. Speaking of, why is this not the Ultra? This does so much more. Sure, this is a... Whoa, what have we done? Hi, Rochester. This video is not sponsored by Rochester. I just clicked the wrong button. But do go check out rochesterccg.com for all of your Universus needs. But sure, this can give stats, because this makes this a 7 low 10. That's pretty scary. You play it for free because you're Shishi Wakamaru. And then you pay the cost for the Echo by removing whatever attack came before it. Any attack that came before it. And then when you play it as the Echo, since that's the second or greater time you've tried to play it, your check automatically gets +2. Why wasn't this the Ultra? I mean, is it because the Ultra is a 3 diff that gives a bunch of stats? I feel like the rarities of these two could have been swapped and it would have been fine. Maybe it's because the Cage of Hell is a 3 diff. And again, maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. But I feel like Chorus of 1,000 Skulls does a lot more to threaten your opponent than Cage of Hell, which can give some stats, do some stun, is cheap, and can auto-send itself to your momentum. Yeah, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just the way I'm thinking. Moving on to foundations. Banshee Sword Shriek. A 0 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 mid block, a common foundation. It's got the weapon keyword. Response, flip after a weapon attack is played, it gets +2 or -1 damage. So good for throwing damage on Shishi Wakamaru's free attack. And you can just flip it for -1 damage if your opponent's playing weapons. Not bad, pretty good for a 0 diff. I don't think we've seen a lot of 0 diffs lately. Next up, the uncommon foundation, Crowd's Darling. A 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 mid block. Has first form, discard 1 momentum. Your checks to play weapon attacks get +1 for the rest of the turn. Cheeky. And then Enhance Commit, if your attack deals damage, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. Fun. Alright. Not bad. Pretty decent uncommon. Next up is the rare Hungry for Fame, a 2 difficulty 5 control with a +3 high block. Enhance Commit Flip. Add 1 card from your momentum to your hand. So since we're now able to check our momentum, we can just grab whatever card we'll need later. So if you echoed your, or if you didn't echo the Chorus of 1,000 Skulls and it went to your momentum, you could just pick it back up. Or if your Ultra went to your momentum because you didn't echo it away for some reason, you can just pick it back up, play it again. Pretty good. I like that. And then finally we have No Restraint, a 1 difficulty +2 low block 5 control with the Fury keyword. Enhance, discard 1 momentum, your weapon attack gets +3 speed. Again, making Chorus of 1,000 Skulls look absolutely horrifying as a 7 low 8. But yeah, that's it for Shishi Wakamaru. What are your guys' thoughts on this Banshee Swordsman that is absolutely terrifying? Because what this tells me is you can throw your whole attack string at your rival, or any attacks that you want, play out your foundations as needed, and then just play a card for free at the end of your turn, and you don't have to worry about the check. That's just crazy. You can just play attack, 3 foundations, form, commit him, remove a momentum, play Chorus of 1,000 Skulls for free. That's dangerous. That is spooky. And I think we're going to see a lot of Shishi Wakamaru going around with his insane... Like I said, shares 2 symbols with Rinku. And let's see, Walk the Dog is a weapon. Around the World is not, but you don't always need Around the World. You could just walk the dog all over the place. I'm going to play this 8 difficulty cost for free. But you could totally do Around the World, because it is a throw, if you didn't want to do your Chorus of 1,000 Skulls for some reason, and then just walk the dog all over the place. That is nutty. That is nutty. I think they're really ramping up with these characters here, and we've only got 4 more to go. 2 of them were revealed today to date the video. That was Suzuki and Toya, and then that just leaves tomorrow. We get to see younger Toguro and Yusuke. So I'll make a video on those 4 after that, and if the back page all has been revealed by then, I'll probably roll those into that video, or I may just add that with the time-shifted rares, and do like a whole back page / extra cards list. Yeah, that would actually probably be best. So it'll be a 5-part preview review. But yeah, what do you guys think? Which character are you most scared of going into this next set? If you play, especially if you play competitively. I mean, who are you putting your money on topping the most or doing the most damage to the meta? And who are you most excited to play? Me, of course, Elder Toguro Stan. I am going to lab that guy so hard, but I can't deny that I don't want to play Shishi Wakamaru, especially seeing just how insane he and his support are. I've also always been a fan of Genkai, so of course I'm going to try to make her work. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one. Later.